We all know that No Man's Sky has many different gameplay elements. Walking around, destroying nature, pretending you're in Pacific Rim, but there's one criminally underutilized mechanic: techno music producer. This feature is not just a temporary distraction from your feelings of self-doubt, but a full-fledged music entertainment experience that gives you yet another reason to dance alone in the dark. The source of this miracle is the ByteBeat device, which can be unlocked on the anomaly in the construction area. If you want to have your music control the lights, you can also get the ByteBeat switch and cable. And if you want to expend the absolute minimum amount of energy possible, you can just put down a noise box. So cute. To start making music, all you need to do is set down one ByteBeat device and plug it in. It starts playing as soon as it has power, so if you don't hear anything or it's super quiet, double check that your music is turned up in the general settings. Don't be like me and run around in an unrestrained panic because you think you're going deaf. The interface for the ByteBeat device can quickly overwhelm, but sit tight, your best buddy Dart is here to break it down for you. There are 3 separate pages to cycle through. The sequencer is where you'll spend most of your time, adding and editing notes and the general settings. The synchronizer page will only be visible if you have more than one device connected together. They will not sync up if they're across the room from each other, standing in the corner with their arms crossed. They need to be cheek to cheek. On the synchronizer tab, you can change where your device's individual track will be looped throughout the song. Think of a beaver arranging sticks to prevent fresh water from reaching a village. It's not relevant to what I was talking about, but it's such a funny image. The Advanced Waveform tab is the most complicated and, in my opinion, unnecessary page, but it does allow for more precise adjustments to all of your emitted sounds. Each time you set down a device, a deafening cacophony of inhumane sounds will attack your eardrums, thanks to a randomized assortment of notes. But this can quickly be cleared so you can start from scratch. This tab handles both the synthesizer instrument and percussion. If you're unfamiliar with these exotic words, percussion is basically hitting something with a stick, and a synth is the sound of a computer in labor. On the top bar, you can copy and paste all sequencer settings, very handy for carrying over to other devices. There's the classic play and stop button that only works for your current device, not for the entire song. It is worth noting you can't restart or stop the flow of the music, you just have to ride the wave. In the center, you'll find the beats per minute and the key. Changing either of these affects all connected devices. Top right are distance and volume settings. Volume is exactly as it sounds, but distance attenuation changes how far away you can be from the speakers while still hearing the music. If you're looking for the Across Lifetimes option, I think that's coming in another update. The very helpful Solo button allows you to listen only to this device's output. Not as necessary when you're just starting out, but very accommodating when things start to get busy. On the right side, you can completely turn off the synth, clear it, or randomize it if you need inspiration or lack all creativity. Below that, you can adjust the steps, or how long each note lasts. This will change all of the notes at once, as there can only be one length for the notes: long, medium, short, no exceptions. If you want a way around this, you'll have to copy the settings to another device, then piggyback off each other. Just remember, you have a maximum of 8 connected devices, so the more complicated each measure becomes, the less complicated the entire song can become, if that makes sense. On the left side, there's a slider to adjust the balance between the synths and the drums, so the device can know who your favorite is. In the drum section, you have buttons to change the sound of the cymbals, snare, and bass with 13 options for each. On the opposite end is where you can turn on or off the drums, wipe it clean, or randomize. The big difference between the drums and the synth section is the frequency of the loop. The drum area is repeated 4 times in each measure, so even if you only add one kick drum, it will still be played 4 times. At the bottom of the page is the world-renowned arpeggiator. This fun word adds melodic fluctuations to your synthesizer with quite a few options for customizing the sound. To its right is the pitch and waveform editor. This is the only part that stays at the bottom of all 3 pages, because it's apparently super special. The arrows raise or lower the octave, and the bottom 4 choices change the sound of the main instrument. Sort of like changing the shape of your mouth while you're singing. The final component is the envelope editor. Not just for post office workers, this adjusts the power of the note and how it starts and ends. Messing with these settings is highly recommended. Moving on to the synchronizer page. This is the master arrangement, where all the device's loops are organized on the track. You have 8 bars in total, in which your devices can be added to just 1, all 8, and anywhere in between. This is where an unbearable racket can be turned into a poetic movement of sounds. Finally, under the Advanced Waveform tab, you can create and customize elaborate filters. Adding nodes with envelope editors lets you tweak the output with microscopic efficiency. Now, I don't want to say that this page is needlessly convoluted and hurts my brain and heart simultaneously, but no, I do want to say that. If you can make use of these advanced settings, more power to you, but I wouldn't mind if it disappeared entirely. If you have experience producing music, you should know that there is no pitch bending, there's no chords, no equalizer, no lettuce, no tomato, no mayo, no pickle. And now that you understand the basics, let's get cooking. Today we're making linguine. When you're done making a song, you can save it to your personal playlist from the mini menu. Don't forget to give it a provocative name that elicits a powerful emotional reaction. Perfect. Add it to your custom tracks on the left, and add that to the Now Playing section on the right. When you play music from this menu, it will overshadow your ByteBeat devices, just as your ByteBeat devices will overshadow the game's ambient music. The noise box is the only device that plays nice with the background music. He's a good boy. Now for the most important step, running up your electricity bill. When connecting ByteBeat devices to light sources, you'll need to go through a switch. This will need to be powered, and you'll need a ByteBeat cable to connect to the audio source. Toggling between these 2 separate cables can be annoying, but depending on what area you're looking at, pressing Q in the build menu will toggle either electrical wiring or the ByteBeat cable. You can only use 1 device per switch, but each switch can power quite a few lights. After some experimentation, you should have the greatest nightclub on the planet. Which is a low bar since most planets don't have nightclubs. As a connoisseur of music-making software inside of video games, this is top tier. The sound quality is great, the UI is beautiful, and I already went triple platinum on GEC Records. All of the music in this video were made using this wonderful tool, and if I can do it, you certainly can. If you're in the Discord and you've made some music in Yes Women's Ground, I would love to hear your creations. Good luck with your music career and watch out for managers, they can be sneaky.